What's good, Kenganda? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with a very, very special episode of Kenganda Connect. And this is a very, very special one, man. This is the guy I actually credit, no cap,
yeah,
for breaking me into a lot of people that I didn't know. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be doing. You wouldn't see the club Kenganda. The guy behind that connected the dots.
No doubt.
Is Ruyonga. He need to give me an autograph still, but Riyonga is a very, very popular rapper here in Uganda. Go ahead and explain to him who you are, brother.
I do gospel rap, but I'm just like one of the baddest rappers out here, really. Like in general, you know, you can't really be modest around O'Shea Duke Jackson. It's just a bad idea. So yeah, like I'm the baddest, I'm the best ever. Yeah, and it's just been a pleasure to connect him with people and see the stuff that's happened. Big up to Narcello, big up to DJ Alicia, and all the DJs that are gonna come through. So yeah, no, I mean, I love God, I love Jesus, I love hip hop, and just kill rhymes. It's basically what I do. Riyonga.
All right. So no, that was a very, very. No, you are really talented.
Appreciate that
for what you do, but for people that will listen to you.
Yeah.
When I first met you, you sound like an African American.
Yeah, I do.
But you're Ugandan.
Very Ugandan.
So how did you like take a course on how to sound like or did you actually live in America?
Well, first I took a course. It's called movies. Like I just watched a lot of movies. Then I watched a lot of hip hop videos, and I listened to a lot of music.
Okay.
Then I went to the States for 10 years.
With the States for 10 years. Okay, let's talk about that because one of the popular things that are happening now,
yes,
especially amongst the Pan-African community,
yes,
are talented blacks such as yourself, coming back to their origin of country. But you also hear about a lot of Ugandans that don't go back. They go to America. They go to the Waltham, Massachusetts, the DMV,
Boston,
London,
that whole area.
But you went for 10 years. What was the reason that you went in the first place?
I went to study, but for me, in my head, I was like, man, you're not gonna send me to the US and I don't rap. So in my head and in my heart, I was gonna go be the biggest rap star ever.
Okay.
Like, yeah, that was basically what I went for, but I had to do graphic design in the process.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, you're doing graphic design in the process, and you were living in the Midwest, right?
Yeah, I was living in the Midwest for quite a while. Then I went to Vegas for a couple years.
Vegas. Okay. So when you were in, because you come from a pretty good family here.
Yeah,
we ain't gonna
pretty
tell
decent.
Them,
Yeah, we ain't got to tell them too much, but yeah, shout out to the family.
They loaded y'all.
Blood in, blood out.
And he kind of rich, but you come from a very influential family here in Uganda.
Yeah,
you were there for 10 years.
I was.
What did you think that America was going to be like before you get? And what was it like?
I thought it was gonna be very cinematic because that's all I knew about America.
Okay,
like all the movies and everything. I thought like all the black people were gonna talk like this, that. I got the shock of my life when I found out some people really look down on that.
Okay,
as African Americans, and other people embrace it, and then there's people in the middle.
Okay, and
then there were things I wasn't really ready for. Like I thought I was. Like I went to Illinois.
Okay,
in the middle of winter. Right? so it was really cool for like 5 seconds. Then I got sick as a dog. Like I was out there in the snow. Like you've never seen snow before, and everything's white. So it was cool for a second. I was walking around. I walked around a little too much.
Okay.
I was in bed for days.
Right.
But then I got introduced to some really cool things. At the time, it didn't seem so cool. So because it took me a while to get acquainted with them. Like time. The buses get there on time. The classes start on time. Everybody makes their appointment and gets there on time. Like I was not ready for that. I was not ready for that at all. It took a while. I think I lost a lot of money off of that. You know? And then the racism wasn't as straightforward. It's kind of like this subtle thing because I'm in Illinois, Midwest, right? So they've done this acclimating, like we love black people as long as y'all are not violent. And you allow us to say things that I didn't expect that from a black person. And why does your accent sound so funny? Are you sure you're talking in English? Which kind of helped me really get into talking African American while I was there, like American in general. Because if I say stuff in my normal accent, nobody knows what I'm talking about. Yeah.
I've actually heard you code switch.
Oh, yeah.
I've heard you do it, but like you be talking to me and then somebody, boss,
Yes.
boss. I'm like,
I switch like
This
a
is-
problem. Wakanda forever.
is this the same person? But let's talk about that a little bit because, you know, coming from Uganda and then you come into the United States.
Yeah.
And you said that the racism is kind of is very tricky. It's astute.
Yeah, it's tricky. It's not as straightforward as, you know,
Right.
You hear those stories, and actually the funny thing is, it's like it's beyond racism because a lot of my cousins who live in America from Africa would talk about how like black people would call them porch monkeys.
Okay.
And, you know, they'd say go back to Africa. You know?
Right.
So like it's beyond that. It's just like, especially because a lot of the Africans, they go there to study, so they get a lot of the opportunities because there's a lot going on in the African American culture where you either have people who hustle,
Okay.
like who go all the way in and get every opportunity, or you
Right.
have people who try to get in off of, what did they call it? Emancipation Proclamation? I don't even know. Like that whole thing. So
yeah. Like they're trying to do like the reparations. kind of thing.
reparations,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
So when they see Africans getting all their stuff, they used to get real antsy about it. Like I'm guessing in the 80s and the 90s
Yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever. So there was a lot of like having to learn how to be a chameleon because you have to sound white around the white people. Got to sound like around. And then you have to sound like an African around my auntie and my uncle and my cousins.
Okay. Okay. Let me ask you this because you were there. Then obviously Nevada is much more hot.
Yeah, it's much hotter.
You know, I was actually a white person before I went to Nevada, and this is
believe
what happened
that.
3 days on the strip.
You
It
realized
turned me
your
like this.
identity. You were like,
Yeah,
oh my
man,
God.
I was actually from
I'm
Ireland,
from
and then
Africa. O'Shea Duke
after
Jackson,
being on
yeah.
the strip, at the Mirage, nigga.
Yeah, that's it.
You know, I was struggling,
Yeah.
but you were there for 10 years.
Yeah.
And then you came back. Some people will be like, "Why didn't you stay?" Because Uganda is not.
Yeah.
Because 10 years. How long you been back in Uganda? Since when?
I've been here about almost 10. So I came back in 2011. So next year, which is in a few months,
Okay.
it'll be a whole 10 years.
Okay, because when I came in 2017,
Yeah.
2020 Uganda for me as a outsider, when I look
Yeah.
at Kampala, it's a lot of things that are here.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't do this podcast and run this business in 2017 from Kampala on the internet.
Thank you.
But 2011,
Right. There's nothing going on. So for me, it was fresh. It was an opportunity.
okay.
Yeah. So because when I came back, the whole music scene at the time, rest in peace at the moment. I feel that way because nobody's able to perform or do anything.
Okay.
We still got to hustle on. We still got to do our music stuff because, we can't let COVID get us like that. But at the time, people weren't doing live bands. They were not really doing, like they were just starting to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So when I came back, I did one of the bigger shows at the time, and I did it all live for 2 hours.
Wow.
So I really stood out in that regard because I'd come from the States where there's a lot of live hip hop and there's a lot of instrumentation and I came from a lot of college schools. So there was a lot of bands that did stuff with MCs. So I was this fresh new situation. So I had a couple of songs out that were pretty big, but it was a big thing to watch. People knew one or two of the songs, but for 2 hours they were vibing out to music they never even heard.
Wow.
Just based off of the ability to be able to translate live music for them because they were used to track.
Okay.
Somebody come through with like a whole gang of hits.
Okay.
And they were all on track, all on CD. Like I was one of the first people to get to do all live band. Like it really stood out at the time. I could have really taken more advantage of it at the time, but you learn as you go along. But yeah, so for me, coming back at the time, I came back for family reasons, but when the music started to pick up, because I was coming back to do some stuff with family, and I was actually doing graphic design at the time.
Okay.
But then I had a friend who had also been in Canada and been doing music. Shout out to Diego, JT. And he put me on some songs, and every song we put out was just catching.
Right.
Like it was catching like crazy.
Okay.
So in like a few months, we were doing this Diego thing, and everybody was just listening to our songs and repeating it.
Yeah.
So there was this song, it was really hip hop, right? And at the time I was used to girls liking a softer hip hop.
Okay.
So this song was called Lyrical Therapy.
Okay.
And then I started going to places where I'd perform or not even perform, and girls would come up to me and be like, that's my favorite song.
Wow.
So it felt like a win where I felt like coming back home was for the right reasons. There was so much going on at the time because I used to go by a different name. then some reason before I came back, I decided to change my name to Ruyonga, which is my last name.
Okay.
So many things just seemed to work when I came back. So it was actually an exciting time for me coming back. In retrospect, I wish there was some things I had picked up on I could have really taken advantage of at the time. I still can now, but it was really fresh back then.
Let me ask you this, because, you know, people were probably looking at you at 2011 like, wow, Uganda, like, man, you're in America.
Right.
The hip hop industry is much more receptive. There's a lot more money.
Right.
Even independent artists can sell out their trunk.
Yeah.
And you can feed your family. You know, even on YouTube right now, producers are making like $80,000 in a month. Some of them by just leasing beats. That economy is there. Beats. But 2011, and hip hop is not really the big thing in Uganda. It's not like so popular.
It was. It's not anymore.
Oh, it was. Okay.
It was huge.
It was huge.
But it was kind of at the end of its huge situation when I came back. People like the dance hall community organized and mobilized and started taking over everything.
Shout out to Jamrock.
Shout out to Jamrock.
You can blame
Nacello. Yeah. So, but yeah, the thing was though, one of the things that happened was one of the things that made me think about coming home was the recession.
Oh.
So I was making $1,000 for 5 minutes, just to rap. Just because I was African in America. Felt like a great thing. But when the recession hit, it's like all that went away for a while.
Oh, okay.
So everything had to start picking back up. So it allowed me to look at things in a way that I wouldn't have looked at them based off of, man, I'm getting all this money. I need to stay right here.
Okay.
And just be sending money home.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And which I feel is a good thing because now it feels like all the attention is focused on Africa.
Okay.
Like cats are making that money there, but, you know, seemed to be like Sacramento got all these people migrating to Uganda, you know, and
shout out to Sacramento.
Shout out to Sacramento.
Shout out to Black Market.
Looking at all these opportunities. Shout out to Cedric Singleton and Black Market, and the beauty of it is it's beneficial to the Ugandan music industry because they come with a wealth of information.
Okay.
There's stuff going on in social media and how to make money off of YouTube, and also the music industry that people wouldn't have access to if it wasn't for people coming from the States to come here and do what they're doing. So I do hope more beneficial Sacramento people come through. You know.
Let's talk about that because a lot of people, you know, when I chose Uganda to come to, you know, settle, people were telling me like I was crazy. I should just, you know, work with the African American community, or if I go to Africa, work with Ghana. What's been your experience just in the short time that I've met you in working with the African American community that's coming now to Uganda? Has it been a beneficial thing for the industry? Do you think that it's been a good collaboration so far?
Yeah, I think so because here's the thing: Africans, God bless them. A lot of people who are in a position, say, of an O'Shea Duke Jackson, like the head of a company, they don't see the same value in their collaborators or the people who are working with them as a lot of these people who are coming from the States, the expatriates would. It's not always the same because there's expatriates that will lowbrow you like crazy, you know? But the few people that I've met, you know, it's not that they're not about their money and it's not that they'll just throw money at you.
Right.
But if they see the potential in you and if they see that this could be a lucrative investment, they will look at both of you winning. Right. You know? So there's a wealth of information that's coming from the States and an opportunity for partnerships between Africans and African Americans. Right. I'll say African Americans because that's the situation that I've seen is most beneficial. Right. You know, where both people can win. Because of course the African will know his terrain. Right. Okay. He'll know the situation here. He'll know you can't just bring a copy and paste from Sacramento, for example, and just drop it here. But the few Sacramento people that I've met, one or two, I guess, have the sense of analyzing the situation and taking the time and having the patience, not just getting in and putting in some money. It might not work and then pulling it out because this ain't working. And as a result, I think both people are learning. You know, there's a wealth of information and there's actually a wealth of money coming in that wouldn't have come in otherwise, you know? So I think it's beneficial for the people to keep coming in as long as they're good people, you know, because there's always going to be rats and snakes and manipulative people. But the few people that I've met, it's definitely been beneficial. I
mean, I want to thank you personally, you know, you and DJ Nacello. Nacello, he just come over and don't even knock on the door. He just walk in.
Whoa! Yeah. Nacello.
Listen! I just pretend I go in there and go to sleep, man. Like, look, man, tell us how I'm not here. But he's the people I've met have been really, really positive. I met DJ Alicia, Felicity through you. Josh SB360, he owed me a free music video.
Something like that. And that's another thing.
The Crucifixion and Crip Walk gospel album.
Nice.
We gonna do, but it's a lot of talent, and you're the one that showed me. And I remember when I met you, you might be showing you this. When I saw the Ruyonga hangout, the first thing I said, I was like, man, you guys need to do this. Because this is something. And there was another brother there, Felix. He doesn't know me, but. I just like what he does.
Yes.
And when I see people like him, he's a very intelligent man. And especially with the hip hop and the genres. These guys are geniuses, and all they need is just maybe if he was in America, I would see him. I hate to say this, but I think he would be a little bit more appreciated for what he does, his genre.
I believe that.
But hopefully, that'll change. Uganda has a lot to offer. Go ahead.
And that's what that's how I felt about it. That's why I wanted to introduce you to people like Nacello and DJ Alicia, because they wouldn't be doing what they're doing right now as easily, because I know that there's a lot of DJs trying to connect with a lot of the corporate companies here, but there's so much red tape. And it goes beyond the corporate companies and everything, right? Mm-hmm. And I appreciate that you looked at it like, this is viable. We could do something about this. Let's put some money down. Let's make some plans. If it works, let's do it. And already you're getting thousands of views on YouTube off of that, and it's steadily growing as far as I could tell. Like, I'm so glad I get to have bragging rights on saying I got to be a part of that. I got to put that together. Like, I mean, I got to be a part of that. Like, for me, like, if I can make more of that happen, that would be a beautiful thing. That'd just be a win. And we're doing stuff we're talking with Cedric. Shout out to 360 SB. Felly Star, like, we're doing more of that, because I mean, the right partnerships is the way to go in 2020.
Right.
Everybody's losing any other way.
Right.
Like, the right partnerships, you actually be winning in a time where everybody's losing jobs. Everybody, the entertainment industry is shut down right now. But we got DJ Alicia online, reaching her fans, getting to more fans. She's reaching a whole new audience through Kenganda, through Planet O'Shea, Celebrity Junk, through all those avenues, and she's talented. She's not just a pretty face. She actually puts time in her work, and people get to appreciate that.
Yeah.
So to watch that happen, for me, like, I think more of that can happen. We can actually turn this whole situation around where everybody's crying and pleading like, God help us, because the entertainment industry is shut down, and it seems like the power is in the hands of a few who don't want to move because of all the red tape.
Well, I talked to Cedric. Cedric, who will be on here maybe next week.
That's what's up.
Cedric grew up across the street from. Cedric was a young man that bought a house across the street from our grandmother.
Yeah, man, that story's crazy. He was 20 what?
He's always been ahead of his time when it comes to like being an entrepreneur. He was like that when it wasn't popular.
Said at 26 he had bought like 20 houses.
He's a very, very smart guy. He's very, very astute.
Yeah.
And in the way he does business, he's a mentor to me. In the way that I would like to do things.
Nice.
But what we do understand is that in Africa or in Uganda, he was not even thinking about Uganda. He's gonna be here full steam now.
Yeah.
Because the
I need to talk
partnerships,
to him about that. I want to know that story.
The partnerships in the talent that you can get, the people that you can work with.
Yeah.
Not just be like, oh, I own this and you work for me. The partnerships.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like what me and Nacello have is a partnership.
Yeah,
what we have is a partnership.
Man.
And so the guys are introducing me, helping me, and I think that's how the African community and African American community should look at it, is trying to help each other. Because at the end of the day, I will tell you offline, we black, you need to help your brothers come up.
Yeah, you do.
I always preach that.
You do.
You don't be listening to me, but I try to bring it to you.
I don't. But I see the work, though. I see the work. Like, I think it's so cool that, you've introduced this skill and this talent to a brand new African American audience, which is also something Cedric Singleton is doing.
Yeah.
And we get to introduce you guys to a whole new market of people. Like, there's ups and downs, but I think what's happening is a beautiful thing, and it could really grow from that if we continue to just work together.
Right, and it's not even just the music. You have the tech spaces.
Exactly.
You have, you have the co-working spaces that are talented. You have people that are helping the African American community with branding now.
Definitely.
Just a lot of people here in Uganda, agribusiness. So a lot of people are actually educating the African American community on what Uganda has to offer and helping them with skills that some of them don't have.
It's beautiful.
You know, people think that just because you're from America, you have everything.
Yeah, you know
don't.
everything.
People here are very specific in their niche. They do certain things, and they're helping us, and we're helping them. So I can't wait to be on the gospel mixtape, man. I want to host
it's
it.
Gonna be fun, man. What's it called?
Tell me where to go for Jesus. So I'm gonna be on that one. I'm gonna be with a tambourine, the choir robe.
Black Market.
Yeah.
No,
So, but tell everybody, man, where they can follow your page. You are on Wikipedia too.
Yeah, I am.
I'm not even on Wikipedia.
Why
I'm gonna
aren't you, man? You need
I'm on Negropedia.
Kenganda, Planet. Oh, of course
I'm on
you're on Negropedia.
Negropedia, yeah.
Negro Manosphere, Negropedia.
So tell them where they can find you at.
You can find me at Ruyonga Music on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Edwin Riyonga on YouTube and Riyonga on Facebook. You know, I try to be like a little ignorant with it, or a little like, you know, I'm like, you know. Anyway, that one has a Z. So the rest of them, Riyonga Music with an S.
Okay.
Then Riyonga Music with a Z for Facebook.
Okay.
But yeah, like that's. But it's a beautiful thing, man. Like I'm so glad to be here right now, because I'm like no lie, I'm really glad to be a part of what y'all are doing and the connections and like opening this up. And like if more Africans and African Americans could work together, I feel like there's so much we could do.
Yeah, and if we don't do it, the Chinese are gonna do it.
Somebody's gonna do it. The Chinese, the Indians are gonna find a way, even though they're so rude and everything. I mean, they like their money, you know. They'll talk to you all different when they see all the money come out. Right. That's a whole other story, you know.
Yeah. So, but God, it was a great podcast, guys. Make sure you check him out. Follow him on all the social media. I'm supposed to be looking at that camera because they're gonna be clowning me if I'm looking at the
Look out for 360.
Go ahead.
Josh SB 360 Black Market collaborations. Look out for Star. Look out for Felicity. Look out for Fuzzy, and more Riyonga content. And you know we're gonna be doing more stuff with Kenganda. Definitely. Yeah.
All right, guys. Subscribe at the bell. Always remember, keep it real, Kenganda forever. We out.